1st of November, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi, Vayera.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rabbi.
How are you? Everything okay?
Baruch Hashem, and you?
Baruch Hashem. So yesterday you
Yesterday I was
with
getting
us.
vaccinations for my trip to India.
Sorry?
Yesterday I was getting my vaccinations for my trip to India.
You're serious?
Yeah, I'm in Hashem. I'm leaving Sunday morning. I'll be gone for 11 days.
Wow, what do you have in India?
What do I have in India?
I mean, I'm saying with the purpose of the trip.
Tourism.
Sorry?
Tourist.
Ah, okay.
Vacation.
That's interesting. Are they I mean, where do you intend going? I assume not to the big cities. You intend going to the more exotic places?
Yeah, it's a tour. So we'll be going where they take us.
Uh-huh.
I have an itinerary, but it doesn't really help very much. Just a bunch of names of different cities.
Uh-huh. And it's I mean, it's as far as Jewish facilities are concerned, it's been taken care of.
Yeah, it's run under the auspices of Chabad.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I asked the Shaila of Rabbi Bradowitz when I first set it up to make sure everything was good.
Mm-hmm.
I've got his approval for it.
Very good. Okay, let's go.
All right, so I think we got
up to Pasuk Dalet yesterday. I mean, we didn't do Pasuk Dalet yet. We could just be Pasuk Base and Gimel. Basically we did Pasuk Gimel.
Yukach na ma'at mayim v'rachatzu raglechem v'hi sha'anu tachas ha'etz. So he says, let some water be brought and wash your feet and recline under the tree. And Rashi says, Yukach na al yedei shliach, by means of a messenger.
Right.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishilem livanav, and Hashem repaid his children al yedei shliach, by means of a messenger. Shneimar, as it says, Vayarem Moshe es yado vayach es hasela. Moses raised his hand and struck the rock.
Now, so it's interesting. We're going to see in the Hemshech of the Psukim that all the acts, hello?
I'm here.
That all the, every one of Avraham Avinu's actions was a siman for the future generations. Ma'aser Avos siman labonim.
Right.
And the Mefarshim dwell on the fact that why Dafka, I mean, this act of hospitality was one of maybe hundreds or thousands of acts of hospitality which Avraham Avinu did in his lifetime.
Right.
So why over here is this particular act of hospitality? Every step of the way, Rashi says, if he did it, it's what was done on the shliach. So for his children also, he received alidei shliach. What he did himself, then his children were repaid. The Kosh Baruch Hu did it directly. And Rashi says on the next pasuk. Yeah.
Weiter?
Later it says, Rashi says they received it directly. The Mon. Yeah, Pasuk Ches, Rashi says. Where does Rashi say it? Where does Rashi say it?
According to my footnote,
That whatever he did directly,
Yerios Saloma,
sorry?
Chachamim. According to my footnote, it's explained by Yerios Shaloma and
Shlomo. Okay. It's a Marshal. The Marshal says that. אבל הלחם שלא כך בעצמו, שניהם ואיך חופץ לחם, נוסן להם הקודש ברוך הוא גם כן המון בעצמו. Gave him directly. Okay. No, so it's interesting why Dafka, this particular act of kindness, the particular act of hospitality was unique. So some Mefarshim learn is because this was Avraham Avinu this was a particular act of hospitality which was done with tremendous Mesiras Nefesh, with tremendous effort, because he was the third day after his operation, and it was the heat of the day. The heat was unbelievably hot, and nevertheless, Avraham Avinu went out of his way to do hospitality. So therefore, this was a particular unique act of hospitality.
right.
Okay. What is interesting, I wanted to say actually add another twist, shall we say, to it, is that that Lemaisa, on this day, on particularly hot day, it says HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want to bother him with guests. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the sun out of its sheath, and it was an unbelievably hot day. So, interesting point is that what does that mean? That means everybody stayed at home. There were no passers-by. So that means nobody in the entire world, or certainly around that area, was doing acts of hospitality, because everybody was at home. And the Chayra, in order for the world to keep going out from a pasuk, Olam Chesed Yiboneh, right, that the world existed on kindness, we learn out from the, says that refers to the 26 generations before the Torah was given. Because after the Torah was given, the existence of the world depended on Torah learning. Chaim Volozhin speaks about this in Nefesh HaChaim, that once the Torah had been given to Klal Yisrael, there has to be Torah learned at some time anywhere in the world, otherwise the world will cease to exist. As we learn out from the Pasuk, if it's not for my covenant, i.e. learning the Torah, heaven and earth would cease to exist. But that was all after the Torah was given at Har Sinai. But before that, the first 26 generations from creation till the Torah was given, Olam Chesed Yiboneh. The world existed on kindness. But there had to be acts of kindness in the world. So the Chayra, on this particular day, when everybody was staying at home and it was swelteringly hot outside, and nobody would have even come to Avraham Avinu had he not said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu seen that he was in tremendous distress. He was so upset that no guests were coming. So the world we could say that the world would have been void of any acts of kindness. So therefore, Avraham Avinu's act of kindness over here was the sole act of kindness done on that day. That's what kept the world going. So therefore, that's why this was chosen as a tremendous example for his future generations. It was the way Avraham Avinu did this unique act of kindness was a simon for future generations. Okay, let's continue.
Berachatzu raglechem.
Yeah, we already learned this passage yesterday, but it doesn't matter. Continue. Okay.
Savur Ehem Ar V'in. He was under the impression that they were wilderness dwellers.
Sorry, they were?
Wilderness dwellers.
I noticed you translated it that way and not Arabs.
I'm just reading the translation. There were no Arabs. Yishmael wasn't born yet. Yes, he was.
And
He had no.
yeah. Okay, there was a concept of Arabs, meaning as in nomads. Yeah, people who move from place to place without having a permanent residence. But that's really what it's referring to over here. But anyway, no, because it is referring to a certain group of people, shemishtachavim la'avak ragleim, which means that
it's the translation as wilderness dwellers is based on Rashi to Yirmiyahu 3:2.
Okay.
So apparently that's what Rashi says over there.
Let me see. Let me check that out. Yirmiyahu 3:2.
Yes.
Just a second. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay. Mish Tachavim Ra'avak Ragleihem, who bow to the dust of their feet. V'hik pi, and he took care. Shalo lahach nis avodah zara so. Pardon?
Yeah, hikpid means he was particular. That means he more than just took care. He was actually particular. Yeah.
Particular.
Now she says, let me see over here. Yeah. So Rashi says there in, I think, Aravi is somebody, a nomad. Okay. As Aravi is a term for nomad.
Nomad.
Okay.
So he was makpid not to bring idolatry into his house. About Lot, but Lot, shalo hikpid. He was not particular. Hikdim lina lirchitza. He put his invitation to spend the night before washing. Shneimar, as it says, Velinu virachatz u
Raglechem.
raglechem. Spend the night and wash your feet.
Right. Okay, now it's actually there, Rashi says the reason why he did it because he was afraid. So later on, what does Rashi say that? Yeah, if you look in Rashi later on Pasuk chapter 19, Pasuk 2, Pasuk base.
19:2. So Rashi says, you must be careful of these wicked people, that they not notice you. Spend the night, wash your feet. But it's the practice of people to spend the night first. Oh,
Right, because question, is it the practice?
To spend the night and wash afterwards. Moreover, Lot should not have phrased his invitation in this order. For Abraham first told them, wash your feet. Only afterwards did he invite the rest. And this is what Lot said to himself. If they come to my house, I will tell them right away, wash your feet out. And
If I would do that,
and I tell them,
right?
wash your feet. When the people of Sodom will come and see that they've already washed their feet, they will slander me and say, 2 or 3 days have already passed since they came to your house, and you do not let us know. Therefore, Lot said to himself, better that they should linger here with the dust on their feet, that they should appear as if they just came. And this is why he first said, spend the night, and afterwards wash.
Right. Now, from this Rashi, it sounds like that Lot had very good motives for saying, stay the night and then wash your feet.
Right.
Yet from our Rashi, it seems that he was, right, he shows he wasn't so careful about it.
Right.
The Mepharshim over there speak about it. Just 1 second. Yeah, I'll read you out my note over there later on the 19:2. Rashi previously explained that Avram asked them to wash their feet first because he did not wish them to bring any object of idol worship into his home. But that Lot was not particular about this. This is the first opinion in Bereshit Rabbah. Here, however, since from the context of the verse we see that Lot was trying his utmost to hide his hospitality from the people of Sodom, Rashi prefers to bring the second opinion in the Medrash, which says that the normal manner of welcoming guests was to allow them to wash their feet first after a weary journey. The reason then why Lot changed from this accepted practice was because he was afraid of the people of Sodom. We call this Lifshutish Rashi. So basically, it's 2 different opinions in the Midrash. Okay, let's continue. Yeah.
Ha'etz,
Tachas ha'etz, tachas ha'ilon.
Tachat ha'ilan, beneath the tree.
Right, which actually we spoke
Not
about
beneath the
yesterday.
wood.
That why Rashi points this out, that doesn't mean underneath the wooden structure, right? It means under a tree, which is still growing. Okay. Okay, let's go on. Pasuk Meir, Pasuk Hey.
Okay, Pasuk Hey says, the ekcha bat lechem, the saadu libchem, achar ta'avoru, ki akain avartem al avdechem, vayomru kain ta'aseh kasher dibarta. So what's that? The ekcha. I'll take for you a kach, a piece of bread, v'sa'adu, that you could, what's that, satisfy your heart? V'sa'adu. It's from Sudan, make a meal, I guess.
No, Sadu Libcha means satiate your heart.
Oh, satiate your heart. Okay. And after, you will pass.
After that, you can continue on.
Oh, you can continue on. Okay. Okay, and therefore you have passed your
Passed by your
servant.
servant.
Okay. By
Now, it's
your
interesting. We'll
you.
see. Rashi's going to point out the word ki al kain.
Oh, that's
not
one word.
therefore.
Yeah, Cain.
Yeah, Rashi's going to explain the meaning of the phrase ki al kain does not mean therefore. Means it is for this. It is for this that you have passed by your servant. Meaning, this was the reason why it was brought about that by Hashem that you passed by your servant was in order that you should come to eat by me.
Oh, okay.
That's why God did this, that brought you, that you came by yourself, passed by my door, was for the purpose that in order that you should come in and accept my hospitality.
Okay. And the Yomru, and they said, God said, you will do.
Kain ta'aseh, so
Okay,
you
so
shall
you will
do,
do
kasher dibarta, as you have spoken.
as you have spoken. Okay, so Rashi. V'sa'adu libchem, you can satisfy your heart. Okay. But Torah, b'nevi'im uktuvim. This is in the Torah, in the prophets, and the writings. Matzinu, the fita sa'ata liba. So we have found, let's see, that bread satisfies the heart. Okay. But Torah, so it says in the Torah, v'sa'adu libchem, which is our pasuk, and satisfies your heart. B'nevi'im, se'ad libcha pat lechem. Satisfy your heart with a piece of bread. B'ketuvim, so this is the writings, v'lechem.
It's actually in Tehillim.
Oh, okay.
That's where it's from.
V'lechem levav enosh. Isad. Oh. So in bread, satisfies the heart of man, enosh. Okay. Amar Rav Chama said, levav chem Ein Kativ Khan. Okay, so Levavchem is not written here.
With the
Ella,
two
oh,
there,
Liebchem.
right?
Oh, but
Right.
rather
It's only
Liebchem,
one base, not okay.
not two. Right. Okay, Magid, this tells us, She'ein Yetzer Hara Sholeit. Oh,
Ve'melochim. So they only have one heart. They don't have two hearts. Everybody, human beings have two hearts, meaning two parts to their heart. They have
right.
the
Yetzer
part
Hara and Yetzer
Yitzhara
Tov.
and Yitzhar Tov.
Okay. So they only have one, the angels, and Breshit Rabbah. This is in Breshit Rabbah. Okay, Achar Ta'avoru, and you shall pass. Achar Cain Telechu. Okay, so right afterwards you will go on. You'll travel on. Ki Akain Avartem. I forgot what you said that was. Kia. Kia.
Now, so Rashi going to explain what that means.
Okay.
Ki alkein avartim, ki adova hazeh, meaning I'm asking this of you, this thing to come and accept my hospitality. Ani mevakesh michem me'achar, since shavartim alai lichvodi, that you passed by, you honored me by passing me by.
By passing by Lichvodi. For honor, right, for honor for me. Okay. Let's see.
Goes on to say, what does that mean? Ki alkein.
Oh, okay. Ki al Kain.
K'moi,
Kamo al Asher. So
it is for this.
it is
Ki
for this.
alkein, because it is for this that
Okay.
I'm asking whatever. Basically Rashi is explaining as follows. He's asking them, Sadu libchem achar tavayu. Satisfy your hearts, and afterwards you continue on. Now, why am I asking this of you? Ki alkein, for it is for this, right? Avarotem alavdechem. Whereas you've honored me by coming by my door, right? So it is for this purpose, is that you should accept my hospitality.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Shemi Kra, that's in I guess Tanakh.
Yeah, but kol ki alkein shebemikra. Every time the phrase ki alkein appears in scripture,
Okay. Kain Ba'u, Bitzel.
so ki alkein
Oh,
bo
Ki al
b'tzel karasi. It says later on that Lot said to the about the angels. He said to the people of Sodom, "Leave them alone, because it is for this they have come within the shade of my, literally of my being, which means they've come into my house, right? It is for this that I should be able to treat them as my guests. So don't attack them."
Okay.
Similarly, you got the other case later on. It says that Yaakov Avinu said to Esau, right? I'm asking you to accept my gift, ki alkein, because it is for this that you should accept my gift. Ra'isi fanech, I have seen your face. In other words, why is HaKadosh Baruch Hu give me this opportunity of meeting you? It is in order that you should accept my gift that I want to give you. And then similarly, ki alkein lo nesatia l'sheila b'ni. There's this whole Maisa happened with Tamar. Yehuda said, you know why this whole incident happened with Tamar, and now that she pretended to be a foreign woman, not my daughter-in-law, is because she wanted to marry my son, and I didn't give her because I thought she was Tamar. She'd married two sons of Yehuda, and both of the sons of Yehuda died. So Yehuda
right.
thought she's what's called a katlonis, which means a woman who causes her husbands to die.
Mm.
Okay, so therefore that's why he didn't want her to marry the third son. Okay, so therefore, so then Yehuda said, you know why this whole business came about? That she came and pretended to be a foreign woman, and therefore, and she had relations with me. The reason was because it is for this, because I didn't give her to be to my third son, Shayla.
Mhm.
I didn't give her as a wife to Shayla.
Uh-huh.
The same thing. Ki al kain yodata chaneseinu. Right, this is a case where Yisro, Moshe Rabbeinu is asking Yisro to stay with them because it's for this that we're asking you to stay, because you are aware of how we encamp. It means your wisdom helps us. That's basically what he's saying. Okay? Okay, let's go into the next pasuk. Hello, pasuk Vav.
Vayimaher Avraham ha'ohela el Sarah Vayomer Mahari Shalosh Seim
Shalosh Seim.
Shalosh Seim Kemach Soles Lushi Vasi
Asi Ugos.
Ugos. So Abraham hastened into the tent to Sarah and said, hurry, 3 saw of flour, unsifted, knead and make cakes.
Right.
So,
and notice, by the way, notice how Avraham Avinu is speaking to his wife. It sounds like
pretty
he's
abrupt.
right. But you see that, he's okay, guys, we've got guests now. Okay, let's get into the guest mode. Right? And
Move.
Yeah, move. Avraham Avinu is giving out orders here. Right? He's the commanding officer.
Kemach Soles. Soles Lagos. Sifted flour for cakes. My note says, oh no, that's later. Sifted flour for cakes. Kemach la Milan shel tabachim. So unsifted flour for the dough of cooks. But my note says it means starch. Likasos es hakidera, to cover the pot. Lish ov es hazu hama, to absorb the scum. So he wanted her to make dough in order to cover the pot.
Yes, so he's saying that there's a certain kind of process. I don't know. This is certainly such a thing, which I think even the cooks use it nowadays. In order to draw flour has a very strong ability to absorb. So so they used to sprinkle flour on top of the pot to absorb the fat, to absorb the scum from the whatever's cooking, from the meat
Right.
and other ingredients. So this way, so that was part of the flour. You know, as he told him, prepare 3 sa of flour. Sholosh soim kemach, soyless. So the Rashi is going to point out that there's 2 different types, right? That's what Rashi is pointing out. Soyless, little guys, soyless for the actual making the cakes, meaning the loaves, and kemach, which is a coarser form of flour, la'amilan shel tabochim. That's to make it into a starch. What do you call it? Cook's starch. So they would sprinkle it over the pot to draw all the fat out of the dross, not the dross is the right word, to draw all the unwanted parts, the fat and the stuff, the scum from the food, right? So that would draw it out, and they would just then afterwards skim off all the flour, and the rest of the pot, whatever, the rest of the stew would now be a very good stew without the fat and the scum. Okay.
I can see that that Abraham would want to instruct her how much to make, how many cakes to make, because he knows that there's 3 guests. She doesn't necessarily know that. But what the rest of this, why is he giving her instructions on how to cook? Doesn't she know how to cook?
Yeah, it's a good point. Let me ask you another question. I'm looking at it actually into as far as halachic consideration. The Maisa, we learn out that 3 sa makes an ephah. That's the shear. No, 1 second. Oh, wow. That's much more than that. 3 sa of kemach and soiles is a huge amount of flour.
Yeah. A
Has
saw
to be a little bit
is a
short.
field of 50 by 50, 50 amas by 50 amas, right?
Yeah, that's a base saw. That's an area where you can plant a saw.
Right.
The
But
3
that
saw
means
is the
saw is enough seeds to spread out over that whole area. That's a large amount.
The Gemara lads out that a shear of challah is the same as it was for standard dough. A standard dough was a series of ephah, a 1/10 of an ephah. Okay, and the Gemara says that 3 sa makes an ephah, which is that's 10 times the normal size dough. So they were talking about a tremendous amount of flour here.
No, not
I don't know
10 times. 3 times.
what.
3 times.
No, it's 3 sa, but
3 saw
saw in
makes 1
itself is
ephah.
much more than a standard size dough.
Right, it's 3 times.
No, the Gemara says that 3 sa in an ephah.
Right, and a 10
Ephah, which is another measure, right, is the size of 3 sa. Okay. Now, the Gemara says as well that the standard dough, which is kai of challah, you know, as if your wife bakes challahs, I don't know if she ever does, but anyway, there's a certain amount, there's a minimum size dough that if you make from that bread, you have to separate challah. Lamaisa, it comes out, it's about a amount of dough, which is enough to make, let's say, about 5 challahs. Now, in general, my wife gets out of a dough 5, 6 challahs. Assuming it's a little bit of chumrah, but it's about, you can make 5 challahs from such a dough. Okay? Now, and that the Gemara says is a series so ephah. That's a 1/10 of an ephah. Okay? That means we're talking about a tremendous amount of flour over here. 3 sa is 10 times a normal dough, normal size dough. Anyway, we're
Right,
running
so
out of
therefore
time.
one saw is 3 times.